Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Friday, the 6th of June 2025. The year BSV comes alive. Branch your threads, expand your mind with treechat.ai. All your posts put on chain. Right, let's see what we've got today. Great article here from CSW in response to Sal the algorithm, who's confusing privacy with anonymity. CSW puts him straight on that one. I just got a post here from Macabre Life, inviting people to come and stay on their bus in Portugal for a week. It looks awesome. Some articles here by Cointelegraph, Switzerland Green Lights sharing crypto tax info with 74 nations. Sounds a bit dodgy. And then crypto leverage trader James Wynn loses 25 million on Gregcoin bet. Oop. Has Bitcoin been captured by politics and institutions? Well, Gregcoin has, absolutely. Trump media files for spot Bitcoin ETF approval from SEC. Don't know what that is about, so we'll find it. We'll have a quick look at the figures. Some 365 days of Bitcoin history, and then that will be the end of the show. Right, let's get into it.
Greg says he's Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, them transactions flying free. Just wait for the Terra node, you'll surely see.
Alright, here we go. So let's check out CSW's response. I think he responded twice. So we'll just see what the post was here initially. So Sally Algris said, the answer to the wars, the surveillance, overregulation, corruption, inflation, taxes, and almost all other crimes politicians commit is privacy. Specifically privacy coins, but all privacy tech in general. The less politicians know about, the less they control. And again, so he, she, Sally, Mayweather, confusing privacy with anonymity. And again, this is what Roger's done and all these other shitcoiners because they don't know it. But the thing is, with CSW being Asperger's, I doubt he will recognise that Sal is confusing privacy with anonymity. And this is why CSW is going to have a go at him for literally trying to confuse people. So let's see what he says. He says, no, Sal, the answer isn't privacy, and it's certainly not your Orwellian shell game of privacy coins. What you're peddling is anonymity, deliberate obfuscation, the digital equivalent of wearing a mask to rob a bank while shouting about liberty. Privacy means traceable accountability with selective disclosure. It's a right, but it's also something that can be proven, audited, verified. Bitcoin, properly implemented, provides privacy, not anonymity, through unlinkable reuse, external encryption, and layered contracting. It does this while remaining auditable, lawful, and enforceable. And again, it has to be a common network, so literally anyone can verify anything on it publicly. What you're pushing is something else entirely. Anonymity is not privacy, absolutely. It's an escape from responsibility, and that's what always gets cracked down. It's why those so-called privacy coins inevitably get outlawed. They're designed for plausible deniability. Yep, spot on. Yeah, very good description. Plausible deniability, not protection. And no, the less politicians know doesn't make anyone safer. The less they know, the more they assume, and the harder they crack down. You're not fighting the system, you're giving it the excuse it needs to stomp down even harder. So don't wrap your fantasy lawless anarchy in the banner of civil rights. If you can't be traced, you can't be trusted, that's your problem. Oh, spot on. Yeah, if you can't be traced, you can't be trusted. There's your problem. Spot on. Loving that. That might be the title of my show. If you can't be traced, you can't be trusted. There's your problem. I have to put there's your problem. Oh, that is ace there from CSW. Spot on. So let's see in his more longer response was. He said, the irony of it all. We arrive at the so-called marketplace of ideas, only to find it littered with half-chewed slogans and intellectual refuse. We stroll with the logic, but the merchants are hawking sentiment and evocation. You set a premise, firm, defined, as one must when entering serious thought, and they recoil as if you'd uttered a slur. It is not argument they seek, but affirmation. The moment you insist that words must mean something, that identifications are the prerequisite of discussion, the tar and feathers come out. You're no longer a participant, you're a heretic. And this is the state of discourse. I do find it funny in a trigonomic sense. I find it funny in a way that a man laughs at the gallows because what is there left to do when confronted with the grotesque theatre of modern thought, other than laugh, not at others, but at the glorious absurdity of it all. You try to establish the rules of the game, the very conditions that make dialogue possible, and your opponent flips the board, tells you the arbitrary is anything that contradicts their desire, then calls it debate. The spectacle of it all is almost beautiful, like burning cathedral, monstrous but awe-inspiring in the collapse. Definitions are not mere semantics, they are the bones of reason. Strip them away and what remains is a glutinous mass of opinion, posturing as a philosophy. If a does not equal a, if the same symbol stands for a things to all men, then we are not engaged in dialogue. We are grunting across the void, each imagining we're understood. And this is where we are. And this is where we arrive when a generation raised on relativism attempts to mimic rationality. They can pronounce the syllogisms, but they flinch from consequences. The idea that demanding shared definitions is somehow robotic or unfeeling, that logic itself is an affront to humanity, is the most spectacular inversion of values since the Inquisition tortured men for their souls. Logic is not the opposite of humanity; it is the crown of it. It is what separates us from beasts and from the baying mob. It is what allows us not merely to feel, but to know, to deduce, to predict, to build systems of understanding that can survive beyond mood or moment. But few wish to be human now, not in the full, terrifying, sublime sense of the word. They are content to remain primates. Clever ones, no doubt, but primates still, ruled by instinct, dressed in hashtags. Thought is too great a burden. It demands sacrifice of certainty, of comfort, of the narcotic of consensus. So instead they jeer, they post, they flail against walls of propositions they cannot comprehend. When I say A is not B, I'm not being pedantic. I'm honouring the ancient contract of reason. I'm standing at the gate of civilization that once dared to think its way forward. And when I demand that you do the same, it's not because I'm arrogant, it's because without the shared discipline, we're already lost. Because in a world where everyone defines truth according to whim, the only law left is power. Yeah, absolutely. The only law left is power. Yeah, and that's why we've been deceived by everything at the moment. And here's the dreadful symmetry. The very people who cry for freedom, who claim to resist tyranny, are the first to abandon reason. The only weapon that resists tyranny without blood. They think their slogans make them rebels. They do not see the discarding logic. They are not resisting authority. They are simply waiting for a louder voice to tell them what to feel. So yes, I debate, but only with those willing to define their terms. Good point. Good point. Willing to define their terms. Spot on. I don't argue with ghosts who change shape when the light hits them. And if that makes me a machine, then may God bless the machines. They at least still follow the rules. Guys, I mean, the thinking is phenomenal. And the descriptions as well are absolutely brilliant. Yeah, people need to define the terms. Loving that. Well done, Craig. That is fantastic. Right, so get onto this post here from Cointelegraph saying Switzerland greenlights sharing crypto tax info with 74 nations. That's a breach of GDPR by the sounds of it. Switzerland's Federal Council expects to enforce the bill on the automatic exchange of crypto information with 74 countries by late 2026, with the first exchange seen in 2027. What's all this about? Switzerland is moving forward with plans to automatically share crypto-related data. What the fuck? With 74 partner countries, including the United Kingdom and all European member states. The Federal Council, the government of Switzerland, has adopted a bill to enable the automatic exchange of information on crypto with partner countries, the council announced on June 6th. What? The proposal also suggests sharing the data with most G20 countries. The measure excludes the United States, funny that, Saudi Arabia and China, according to an ex-post by the Swiss federal government. Sounds like they're being infiltrated and corrupted, just like all the other European governments. The bill is currently under discussion in Parliament, and if approved, the AEOI framework for crypto assets would take effect on Jan 1st, 2026. The first exchange of data expected in 2027. The new proposal follows Federal Council's dispatch on the international and national legal basis for the AEOI concerning crypto assets adoption on February 19, 2025. During a meeting on June 6, the Council adopted this dispatch on AEOI approval targeting the first exchange of crypto data taking place in 27. What crypto data? What are you talking about? Prior to the actual exchange of data on crypto assets, the Federal Council proposed to review whether the partner states with which the AEOI has been activated continue to fulfill the standards requirements. To this end, the existing review mechanism for the AEOI on financial account information should in the future also cover the AEOI concerning crypto assets, which requires the corresponding federal decree to be amended accordingly, the Council said. Exchange depends on mutual interest. In the announcement, the Federal Council stressed that the AEOI should only take place if the partner states are interested in exchanging information with Switzerland. The states also have to fulfill the requirements of the crypto asset reporting framework developed by the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development. The Council noted that the EU will implement the AEOI on the crypto assets as part of the 8th update of the Directive of Administrative Cooperation, or DAC8. The directive applies to countries that do not yet comply with the OECD crypto reporting standards across all EU member states. Again, it's just breaching of privacy here. Invasion of privacy is what it is. It's got nothing to do with them at all. Crypto is completely out of their remit. Affected providers of crypto services from Switzerland would have a direct corresponding obligation in EU member states from that point on. And again, why do they need to report this when it's literally blockchain, like a Bitcoin, is literally a public ledger? They can see it is traceable, but all the transactions are private. So what's it got to do with them? Nothing. The EU member states from that point on, and this will continue until Switzerland implements the ECHR with all EU member states, the Council said in a statement. According to the Federal Council, adopting the crypto AEOI will help Switzerland meet its international tax transparency commitments. International tax? What the fuck are they on about, international tax? Tax is not international. Tax is depending on your residency. Strengthen the reputation of its financial sector and create a level playing field for local crypto firms. Switzerland therefore has a significant interest in being integrated into the network and implementing the AEOI on crypto assets from 2026 onward, especially since it is likely that Switzerland will receive tax relevant data on crypto assets from partner states. The council stated. And again, the reason they're doing this is they're assuming that everybody has to dump their bullshit shitcoins into fiat, triggering a tax liability event. But this is just absolutely outrageous what I'm reading. This is poor show from Switzerland. Crypto leverage trader James Wynn loses 25 million on a Gradecoin bet. So hyperliquid leverage trader James Wynn has claimed the market is being manipulated against him. Oh no shit, Sherlock. After he was liquidated for 204 Bitcoin worth $25 million. Well, you dance with the devil, you get burnt. The millionaire leveraged crypto trader James Wynn has been liquidated of nearly $25 million in Gradecoin after betting with leverage that the cryptocurrency's price would rise. Wynn was liquidated for 240 Gradecoin and had manually closed part of his position to lower the liquidation price. On-chain analytics platform Look On Chain posted on X June 4th. Look On Chain added that Wynn still had 770 Gradecoin worth around 80.5 million at a liquidation price of $104,000. Data from the Hyperscan shows that the trader is currently sitting on an unrealized loss of nearly 1 million on his 40x Bitcoin long position. Oof. The liquidation Wynn posted on X alleging that the market was being manipulated against him. He has separately requested donations to support his cause. He wants donations and he's still worth $80 million. What a scumbag. For exposing the market manipulation, Wynn rose to prominence after making a string of large, high-leveraged bets on a Gradecoin through the trading platform Hyperliquid, where the information on Wynn's position is public. He initiated the $1.25 billion bet on May 24th, going long on Gradecoin with 40x leverage after suffering a loss of 29 million just a day before. See, look at this is what happens. 29 million here, 25 million there. 50 million gone, blah 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 blah. This is what happens when you're trading. This is what they do. They'll take it off you. That's why they're encouraging trading. It's the exchanges that win, and it's the exchanges they control. Funnily enough, a day later, Wynn had closed his long position and had instead opened a 110 million short position on the cryptocurrency. On May 29th, on Look On Chain and Arkham Intelligence said that Wynn had suffered a loss of 100 million over the course of the week. Unfazed by recent losses and wanting to make $1 billion, Wynn went on to initiate a second $100 million leverage long position on Gradecoin earlier this week. Darkpool's DEX. After Wynn's 100 million liquidation, Binance co-founder CZ proposed creating a Darkpool perpetual swap decentralized exchange, which he said could combat market manipulation. All right, yeah, so we'll stop them from manipulating it by manipulating ourselves. What a load of crap. Zhao said that due to the transparency of DEXs, people can see orders in real time, which can lead to front-running slippages and other issues. And the issue is more severe on perpetual DEX due to liquidations. While the concept of dark pools is new to crypto in traditional finance, this feature has existed for many decades. This feature of dark pools has existed for many decades in traditional finance. What the fuck? Dark pools provide liquidity and anonymity to institutional investors while keeping their trades private from retail investors. Dark pools can be cost effective, however, they can also lead to conflicts of interest issues due to the lack of transparency. So what are these kind of like effectively OTC trades on the market? Would they affect the market though, or would they not? It sounds like they might not. So they're making bets that nobody knows about. Well, I mean, this is effectively what DXS app does already. So get on there, you know. Huh. Wow. And check this one out. Has Gradecoin been captured by politics and institutions? Yeah, 1 minute ago, I think so. Gradecoin is now front and center at political conferences and corporate boardrooms. In this episode by Bite Size Insight, we're at Gradecoin 2025, exploring whether it has been captured or simply arrived. 16 years after its launch, Gradecoin is no longer just a cypherpunk experiment or an anti-establishment asset. In 2025, it's increasingly rubbing shoulders with politicians, institutions, and Wall Street titans. That shift was on full display in the recent Gradecoin 2025 conference in Las Vegas, where Cointelegraph was on the ground to capture the mood. In this week's episode of Bite Size Insight, Cointelegraph's Gareth Jenkinson explores whether politics and institutions have captured Gradecoin or whether it has simply become too important to ignore. Can't be bothered reading the rest of that. It's all bullshit. They're just like, oh, has it been captured? Has it not been captured? Anybody who listens to my show absolutely knows the answers to that one already. We don't need to continue with that one much further. Trump Media files for spot Bitcoin ETF approval from SEC. Trump and Media Technology Group file an S1 registration form with the US regulator to launch the Truth Social Bitcoin ETF. What? Trump Media and Technology Group, the company majority owned by US President Donald Trump that runs his Truth social media platform, filed with the US Securities and Exchange Commission to launch a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund. TMTG filed an initial registration statement on Form S1 for its Truth Social Bitcoin BTC, that's Gridcoin ETF, on June 5th. According to an announcement by the company, the filing reads, the asset of the trust consists primarily of Gridcoin held by a custodian on behalf of trust. The trust seeks to reflect generally the performance of the price of Gridcoin. Yeah, I mean, I get to see what he's doing there. So again, you know, just give us your funds and we will hold the Gridcoin for you as well. So we've got you basically by the balls. We've got your funds, yeah, the fiat currency fraud, and we've also got your Gridcoin as well. So yeah, win-win. That's why BlackRock came up with it, and Trumpy there is following suit. Oh dear. 20 minutes gone. Let's have a quick look at the figures then. So Gridcoin $104,000. A Bitcoin just $32.42 top left. Hashrate 0.4, network knows 0.18, or hashrate 0.04. Network knows 0.18%. Transactions out up to 55.4, loving that, and block size 78.53. And remember, block size and transactions are sanity, network knows and hash rate are vanity. That's it, that's it. Let's have a look at the blocks coming through then. So 25, oh, you know, relatively small in comparison to what we used to. I did see some bigger blocks earlier on, actually. So have a quick look, see if we can find them here. Have a look at these beautiful data sizes. If it lets us see. Oh well, come back to that then when it finishes loading. Hash rate, alright, proof of work by now, we know all of those. It's currently 70,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Gridcoin. Mining Bitcoin at a 41.9% comparable loss. Oh, let's have a look at this then. Let's have a look at some of these blocks coming through. Where were the big ones? There we go. 30, 105, 187, 9 hours ago. 109. Here we go. There, so 23 hours ago. So not all that big. 30. Consistent ones there. 13, 10, 3, 25. Look at these ones though. 219, 113. All right, nice. Nice. So we know about all of these. Let's have a look at the politics in the pie charts, because that's where it is. Global hash rate 7 days, global hash rate 24 hours. Gridcoin hash rate other miners 5.65 on there. B crash other miners 38.19. Fisher price cash, who cares? Bitcoin, we'll have to compare this to what's on chain. Oh, confirmed transactions, 390,765 over the last 24 hours. Transactions going up. So we've got Kuv at 29.9, Tal 28.4, QD Link 22.63, Gorilla Pool 10.2, well done them. SA100, Gorilla Pool beating them. SA100 7.3, and Mining Dutch getting a look in at 1.46. Let's have a look at Coin Codex then. Look at this. Some of these up bit 1.1 million. 24-hour trade volume. Indox, that's really wrong. Huobi, 18 million. 18 million? Surely that can't be right. Surely that can't be right. Let's have a look though. Spot. Search. Jeepers, yes, 17 million 24-hour trade volume. 17 million on Huobi. Wow, that's all right, isn't it? Well done for them. What's this? Orange X. What is that? Never even heard of it. What is it? OrangeX.com? Close that one. Spot. Is this a new one? Search. What? So it's not listing it here. What? Oh, interesting though. Alright, well they're saying that's 4.5 million. 4.5 million. How can that be? Alright. Oh, got something. Yeah, 24-hour trade volume. 5.7 million. 5.7 million. I've never even heard of them before. Whoa. Whoa. Buy box 3 million. Poloniex down to 1.86. Hotcoin 1.5. Crypto market 1.1. HitBC 1.1. Yeah, smaller exchanges there. Wow. Oh, well, that was actually quite interesting. All right then, so let's get on to some 365 days of Bitcoin history today on the 6th of June 1944. And check this out, so this was on the 6th day of the 6th month at 6:15 AM. So in other words, we've got the number here, 666, would you believe it? In 1944, the D-Day landings took place. Honestly, they're absolutely horrific. Absolutely horrific, especially when we now know that this was kind of like, you know, one of their satanic ceremonies towards the end of the war, like a sacrifice, an absolute slaughter, you know, after they'd already approved and agreed the Bretton Woods Agreement. That's when they orchestrated this, you know, 666. People have no idea, and we now know that the World War II was nothing but a manufactured gold heist. Absolutely sickening. Absolutely sickening. But there we go. Anyway, we'll leave it there. It's a 28-minute show. Hope you enjoyed it. So as ever, if you enjoy these updates, please ding all donations for your appreciation to either Satoshi at Sendme.com, Handcash.io, Rockwallet.me, Simply.cash, Relator.com, or Senti.ch. We'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed it. And as ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
2 years ago, you got SegWit, which we lied and cheated and stealed, and I was part of the lying and cheating and stealing to get SegWit, to get Lightning, which, by the way, had critical vulnerabilities and lost people's money.
The king still has one more move.